you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do. All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
And welcome everyone to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Pauline, and today I want to share with you guys the benefits of the aloe vera plant. Now, I talk about aloe vera in a variety of the shows that I do, and I've always talked about how I could do a full episode on this plant alone, and so that's what I've kind of decided to do today. So there are a lot of uses for the aloe vera plant, from topical use, for cosmetic use as well. You can eat and drink aloe vera. You can use it on your hair, your skin, for cuts and things like that. So there's a variety of uses and benefits that we gain from the aloe vera plant. And my nephew, he's really cute. He calls it the medicine plant. Like when he comes over and if he's playing outside and he scrapes his knee, or even if it wasn't a scrape from that day in particular, like he's even asked me to put aloe vera on his scrapes and cuts from things that have happened multiple days in the past, but he just knows that it feels better and that it helps heal it up quickly. And so no matter when it is, because like there's even been a time when he said, like, you know, a couple days ago I fell, because he's young, so he doesn't quite understand that it's best, of course, to put it on right away, but he just knows that the next time that he comes over to our house that he wants it. And even if that's a week later from the scrape or the next day, he will mention, he'll say, you know, like, do you guys still have that medicine plant in the backyard? Or can I have some, you know, can I break off one of the stalks from the medicine plant or the leaves? It depends on what you call it. So there's quite a few benefits to aloe vera. Now, the aloe vera plant, it kind of reminds me of like a cactus, and I think it's basically considered a cactus, but basically it is recognized. And if you don't really know what an aloe vera plant looks like, that's totally fine. You can Google it. It does have thick, pointed, fleshy green leaves, and they can grow quite long, and depending on how big your plant, they can start off really, really small and just continue to grow. You have to repot them and things like that, but they can grow to be quite large. So like in my backyard, our aloe vera plant is huge, and so when you snap off a stalk, it's definitely you can definitely get a stalk that is, or a leaf, whatever, that is well over, 6 to 12 inches long. So anyway, and like I said, there's a variety of uses for the aloe vera plant. Some people, you can even drink aloe vera drinks as well. They're quite tasty. You can get flavored ones and things like that. You can chew it. You can use it, like I said, in your hair. So we're going to get into a lot of the benefits of the aloe vera plant. Now, the aloe vera plant is really beneficial in the fact that it is full of antioxidants. There's a lot of vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E, as well as like folic acid and B12 vitamins. So it's it's full of these really important vitamins that we need. It also contains different enzymes as well as different minerals such as calcium and copper, selenium, as well as magnesium and potassium are also in aloe vera, as well as zinc and sodium. There are also some compounds that can be can act as a laxative. So we're going to get into that, like with treating constipation, treating like if you're trying to if you're having problems with digestion and things like that. There are also things that you could do that contain aloe vera and that you can receive those benefits. And so there are some benefits that we're going to jump into that are more common, that are more well known, that people automatically think of when they think of the aloe vera plant. But then there are also other and deeper uses that we can use with the aloe vera plant. So basically this is the most common, and this is what I think is like the most basic idea of the idea of uses when we think of the aloe vera plant. And this is why my nephew calls it a medicine plant, because it can be used topically to help heal wounds. And so it can help with different burns and abrasions, psoriasis even, and also it can be used on bug bites. So it helps to relieve the pain of wounds and things like that. It's also really good. Another nice, great usage for it. And you can also buy like aloe vera gel. This is very common if you go out in the sun often, and if you're more fair and you burn easily. We know all about using aloe vera gel, which you can one quick tip that we do, especially for my nephew, because he's really fair and he sunburns easily, so we're always slathering him and sunscreen. But then on occasion there are times where you miss the area, or if he just forgets, if we're out longer than we expected, a nice trick is to put the aloe vera gel. You can buy it in the store and things like that, or if you have an aloe vera plant, is you put it in the refrigerator so then it cools down. So that helps again when you're putting it on your sunburnt skin. It soothes it even more because it's cool. Because you know how sometimes your skin just feels hot even when you're inside. And so it's really cool. Or if you use like the stem of an aloe vera plant, you put that in the refrigerator and you peel it back, and you can rub that over your, sunburnt skin. It's really, really soothing. I know that my nephew loves it. And even if you just feel like a little bit on your cheeks, you know how sometimes on the apples of your cheeks and your nose, you can feel it. And so I like to rub a little bit of aloe vera gel on the apples of my cheeks whenever I feel like it's just hot from that day. Maybe you're out all day watching baseball, or at, just whatever, a carnival. You're just out and about, and you've had sunscreen on all day, but sometimes your skin just feels a little bit tender. And I always like to put that on whenever my skin feels tender. Whenever, one thing that I like, one of my favorite uses for my aloe vera gel that I have is also whenever I get done, like I work at a wax center as well. And so after I get like my underarms waxed or my legs waxed, I like to rub that on them to kind of just like soothe it. I don't know. It's just, I feel like it can't do any harm, but I mean, I just put it on because it just, that night when I come home, I like to take a shower. I don't like to put deodorant on right away after having my underarms freshly like shaved or waxed, and then like my legs as well, because I just feel like I don't want those open and exposed pores and things like that to be immediately filled with lotion or to be clogged up with deodorant and things like that. So I'll just use a little bit of aloe vera gel on there to kind of soothe them, as well as just moisturize and things like that. So I'm going to cut it to a quick break. And then when we come back, I have some more great and awesome uses and benefits of the aloe vera plant. So keep it locked here. You are listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Pauline, and today this episode is all about the aloe vera plant. And so I'm starting off kind of discussing some ways that we can use it topically and on our skin. So one, it does help treat burns, and because it does soothe down your skin, and it can also help relieve and prevent itching. So like if you have a bug bite or just an area that is just itching because it's healing. Maybe you have a cut or a scrape or an area on your body that is just itchy for whatever reason. A lot of times, like when I remember after my foot surgery, the area that I had the stitches was just really, really dry and itchy all the time because your skin is healing. It's just dry, it's tight, and things like that. And you don't want to itch and scratch and scrape off. You just don't want to, especially when you have tender skin and things like that. So it can definitely be an emollient and definitely kind of smooth and soften that area of skin in your skin, as well as prevent a lot of itching from like bug bites and things like that. It also can reduce bleeding, and it also the aloe vera plant is another way to, because it's basically 99% water. You can also use it as a hydrator and moisturizer with your on your skin as well. So some people don't care for thick lotions because they feel like it makes their skin feel really greasy. Some people just don't like lotion. I think that sometimes when I put a lot of lotion on, especially during the summer, I feel like I just feel like more hot. I just feel like I sweat more, that my pores are clogged, but you still need to like moisturize your body, right? And so aloe vera, like the gel of aloe vera, or just using the stalk of aloe vera, especially because I don't think that there's anything better than the actual resource and using that resource. So what I like to do is you can actually, like when you peel back the leaf of the aloe vera plant, and the inside is one piece that's a little bit thicker, that is more of a like the flesh and like the meaty part of it, but then just in between the outside of the leaf, the skin, we'll call it the skin for now, and the flesh part is a more jelly, sticky substance, the gel part. Now, you can also, I've done this before, is really just you can blend it up and have it be more loose. You can also, there are also people, I remember my friend in college, she would just use that gel, that stickiness from the aloe vera plant. Now, you have to understand that it can feel kind of sticky. So I would sometimes use this when I would use it on my face. I would use it before washing my face. Or you can use it on your body, on your skin as a moisturizer before showering, because if you're using it directly from the plant, sometimes it feels a little sticky. Some people are kind of used to it, others not so much. Or sometimes I would put it on my skin and things like that at night when, like on my chest, because it does help soothe down redness as well. And it also works as an antibiotic and antibacterial and antifungal properties as well, and it does help reduce inflammation. So I was thinking to myself that would be really good to use on acne, and sometimes I get like chest acne, so I would rub that on the bit of acne that I get on my chest, especially during the summertime, to one, cool down the skin and kind of soothe it, as well as help reduce some of that inflammation that acne sometimes gets, as well as to work as the antibacterial part, because a lot of times that just gets from a lot of bacteria from a long day of, in the summertime, we can't help it. We sweat a lot. It's just a thing of life. And then, so sometimes you can rub that on your chest and then take a shower. I would sometimes let it just like dry on my skin overnight, and then the next morning take my shower. So there are definitely different ways to use it, because you can buy aloe vera gel. I know that there's a Korean brand that I buy that is I believe it's like 92% aloe vera, so it's mostly made up and composed of the aloe vera gel and plant, because you just want to be careful that you're not getting a product that is not as much of the aloe vera plant itself, and you don't want to get something that has a lot of fragrance, something that has a lot of other chemicals and lotions and mineral oils and things like that mixed in with it. You just want as much of the good stuff as you possibly can get. And so that's why I like that one Korean brand that is very popular. It comes in a green tub, and that you can use it. And I use that like on my face at night. I use it if I do feel a burn sometimes, like because I like to get my eyebrows threaded. And so I'll use it as a cooling gel on my brows after getting my eyebrows threaded. And it also helps, again, because of the anti-inflammatory properties, as well as the antibacterial properties. I think that that's really good to rub on your brows after getting a service. I just think that it's really good to continue to, after you wash your face and things like that. But anyway, so those are some topical uses for the aloe vera plant. Now I want to kind of get into more of the internal uses for aloe vera. And so you can definitely, there are some people that drink aloe vera. Like I said, you can get aloe vera mixed into different drinks. Like if you've ever been to a tea shop or one of those cafes that sells like boba drinks. This is very popular in California and in Hawaii. I'm not quite sure about everywhere else, but I know that here in California, we love pearls, tapioca pearls, boba, bubbles, bubblies. There's a variety of names, but a lot of places will also have pure aloe vera chunks that you can get mixed in as well. And so that's another way and fun way to kind of get that into your system. I always like it. I think aloe vera tastes, it's really different. I think it can taste very slimy, so you have to be careful with that part. Like if you're going to just eat it from the plant itself, it can be quite slimy, but the fruit of it, the meat part of the aloe vera plant isn't too bad, but it can be slimy. You just got to get the slime off of it. Kind of like, when you overcook okra, it's just one of those things. It's just a little bit slimy, but it's not terrible. I don't know. It's just whatever. So anyways, so we're going to get into some other benefits. So some people also use aloe vera for weight loss. It can help maximize your weight loss potential, with the different vitamins and minerals that are really good for you, especially if you're trying to cut back on a lot of processed things, but you still want to make sure that you're getting naturally a lot of these vitamins. Because, my mom and I, we were talking about it, is that we're trying to cut back on certain things, but then we take a lot of supplements. And where are these supplements coming from? And we're trying to cut back on the different capsules and supplements and powders and things like that we consume, and really try our best to get these nutrients and these minerals, these vitamins and things from natural sources, from a lot of different vegetables, from a variety of fruits, a variety of different plants and things like that. So aloe vera is something that is really good. It helps with our body's absorption and utilization. It also has a lot of amino acids and enzymes as well. So, you can find it in different diet supplements. I don't know if you're into it, if that's something that is best for you. Juices as well, like I said, or it can just be a juice that's an aloe vera juice, or the bits of aloe vera that can be mixed in. Some people will blend it in their vegetable and fruit like juices and smoothies, and that's a good way to kind of mask the taste of it. If you're not really into the taste, you can just kind of blend them and then strain it and drink that as well. Some people think it's pretty sour and bitter, so you can mix in honey, or even, my favorite, lemon. You can mix in some lemon with it as well if you want to really get it from the pure aloe vera plant. So I'm going to cut it to my last break, and then when we come back, we're going to discuss some other ways to utilize the benefits of aloe vera through with like cardiovascular health, as well as our immune system and detoxing. So keep it locked here. You are listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast. I'll be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's GSMCpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Pauline, and we are getting ready to wrap up this episode on aloe vera, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys some more ways and uses for aloe vera. So it really is good and helps in detoxification. So it's very similar. It's a gelatinous plant. So, and plant food. So it's really similar to like seaweed and chia seeds. You know how like when chia seeds, you put them in water and they get kind of slimy? They do. They kind of get this like membrane around it, which is kind of slimy. So kind of like that same idea. But the benefit of foods like this is that these gels, move through our intestines and they absorb a lot of the toxins as they move through, and this helps these toxins to get eliminated more thoroughly through our colon, and it helps with proper proper digestion, and it can help eliminate waste and detox our bodies. And it also helps, I don't know about you, but sometimes when you consume a lot of aloe or a lot of chia seeds, it helps get things moving. Like you feel it. You know that your intestines, your small and big intestines are really moving, and that it's good. It's a good thing because it definitely gets a lot of those toxins and that just gunk out of us, which is a really good thing in the long run. And then I did mention that aloe vera does have cardiovascular health benefits as well. So, there has been some research that some people will actually, there have been studies where they have injected into the blood aloe vera extract, and that it helps actually multiply the transportation of oxygen and the red blood cells. So, that is another thing. It can help also regulate blood pressure and improve circulation and oxidization within our blood, as well as lowering cholesterol and making, in consuming and enjoying a lot of aloe vera like juice, as well as just the meat itself in whatever different ways that you like to try it. I'm going to talk to my mom about trying it in a vegetable smoothie. I think that might be kind of good because it's a different way to kind of mask it, but still get those properties and kind of help lower our risk of heart disease, because, heart disease is very rampant in our culture and in our society here, as in the United States, because of what we eat and things like that. And so it definitely plays a role. So this is a way to kind of counteract that and try to be more aware of the benefits and helping to lower our risk of different heart disease. Another way that aloe vera is really good is it can stimulate our white blood cells within our immune system. So that does help boost our immune system as it fights against different viruses. It's also very high, like I said, in antioxidants, which are really good for fighting against free radicals that also, contribute to aging. So it can help with aging. So it's definitely something that can help boost our immune system. There's a lot of benefits to aloe vera, whether we're consuming it, whether we're drinking, consuming it through eating it and mixing it into smoothies and things like that, or drinking it, or using it topically. You can even use it in your hair as a moisturizer and conditioner as well. I know that a lot of people, you literally just grind, pound up, or you could put it in a blender and blend it up and just use it as kind of like a deep conditioning mask on your hair as well. So, but with all things, there is a lot of, with all things good, you do have to also be very careful. Like I said, you want to make sure that you try to get the most kind of like bang for your buck, I guess you could say, in a way, but also the most benefit for the use of whatever product and type and whatever way you're going to use the aloe vera plant. Of course, the best way is to just kind of go ahead and so there are multiple benefits, whether it's the inside, the outside, but of course, with everything, you have to have some precautions, and you always should discuss with your healthcare professional, because the potency can definitely, dependent on the level of potency, it can affect your body as well. It can lead to loss of electrolytes, as well as with special regard to potassium. So, and it can also, there are a lot of studies that also say to avoid taking aloe vera internally, so consuming it during pregnancy, menstruation, as well as if you have hemorrhoids or degeneration of the liver and gallbladder. So definitely something that is very important to be careful and aware about. And with everything, of course, these are just some benefits, and I mostly do use it as a topical agent. So definitely something to consider and be aware of when wanting to incorporate aloe vera into your everyday life. So with that, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Pauline. And
tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch, whatever it may be.